I don't know what people were doing in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s in northern climates without all-wheel drive, but we've done it before, people. Surely we can do it again, right? Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the 2025 Chevrolet Trax 2RS front-wheel drive, and this affordable little crossover is proof that you do not need to spend a lot of money to get a lot of features. In this video, I'm going to tell you why you are wrong to buy any other two-row vehicle besides this one if you're on a budget. Stay tuned. First and foremost, I want to thank Chevrolet for finally giving me one of these for a full week. I have had the Chevy Trax here on the channel a few different times, but those have all been very short stints with them. I have not gotten to live with them as I have this one. So thank you, Chevrolet, for bringing my dream to life, because I have really thought about buying one of these and replacing my aging Chevy Cruze with another affordable Chevy. And there's a lot to like in this one. We will start first and foremost under the hood, because Chevy has done some perhaps controversial things with this vehicle by eliminating the option for all-wheel drive. Previous generations did offer all-wheel drive, but they were also a little on the only a mother could love looks spectrum. But yes, this one employs Chevy's 1.2 liter Ecotec 3-cylinder. So yes, only 3 little cylinders here. It is turbocharged and makes 137 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque, only through those front wheels, but it does get a traditional 6-speed automatic. So no CVTs here, which a lot of its competition and a lot of its bigger siblings get in front-wheel drive guys. And another great thing about this, 28 MPG city, 32 highway, 30 combined, with a 13.2 gallon fuel tank that only accepts regular unleaded fuel. So you can go forever on this, and when you fill it up, it won't break the bank. Now, one of the reasons why Chevy only went with front-wheel drive on this is to keep costs down, as is the reason for the manual prop rod and no hydraulic struts to hold the hood up. But my goodness, what a glow up the Chevy Trax received. The other version, the one that aged out and ended in the 2022 model year, they skipped 23 altogether, was, as I mentioned earlier, a face only a mother can love. But this one is an absolute looker. Even here in silver paint, which I am not a big fan of, my goodness, this looks really good. Now, Chevy does offer 2 co-top trims on this vehicle. This is the 2RS. Previously, we tested the Active. Honestly, I like the outside look and really the inside look of the RS better, but I like the overall functionality of the Active better. We'll talk more about that when we get inside. But you can see we have LED running lights, LED headlights, incandescent turn signals, and the RS gets this dark chrome-like crossbar across the front. It looks really good. This being the 2RS and not the 1RS, we get the 19-inch wheels that are fairly stylish. We actually see these in the, I can't really say bigger, but more up-level Trailblazer RS. We've already tested these wheels on a Trailblazer. You can see they are 245 45 R19s, and they look rather nice. The Active gets black wheels, so for those of you who cannot stand black wheels, maybe stay away from the Active trim. As we pull around to the side, again, the look of this has definitely grown and looks more athletic and muscular than the little speed bump it replaced from the 2022 model year. It looks longer, it looks lower, it looks wider, it looks better all the way around. Those 19s really fill out the wheel wells nicely. As we move around to the back, incandescent lights back here, which again, for the price point, this thing as equipped, loaded to the gills, just over $27,000. with destination. That's impressive. The RS gets, as you saw up front, black Chevy bow ties, black Trax badging on it, and a chrome trimmed RS badge. Interesting omission. Perhaps the parts bin was empty. Another way Chevy keeps the cost down is with no power liftgate on any trim. So if you like this platform and want a power liftgate, you're going to be shopping a Buick dealership with the Invista. Yep, no, yeah, Invista. There we go. All their models start with N. There's Envision, Invista, Enclave, but yes, Invista is the small one. And then looking at cargo space, decent amounts of cargo space back here, actually comparable to behind the third row of a Chevy Tahoe, which is very impressive, though not a big fan of these hard covers back here that they put in more cost-efficient vehicles. It's just not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of them. They cut into cargo space and they're not easy to maneuver around. I like what Hyundai does in their Kona. They actually give you a storage space behind the back seats for when you don't want to use this. I wish more manufacturers would take Hyundai's playbook there. We have a little additional storage down there, level storage right here, and then if we lift this up, you could in theory store some stuff around your temporary spare. And you can see, to get to that spare tire, you can put this hard cover through that little slot right there and lower it down, but not have to put this on the dirty ground, which is a very nice touch. And then not power close, manual close hatch here, but you can see it opens up nicely. Very easy to open in my 1963 built garage. Before we climb into this one, I do want to show you the key. It is not your typical Chevy key. They have since replaced this design, but it's got all of your necessary buttons on it. So this is one of their cost-saving measures using an old style key. Lock, unlock, remote start, which I like, panic button, all the necessary stuff, but it is a proximity key, which I really like, and you can lock it and unlock it from this button on both front doors, not on the back doors. As we open the doors, you can see the RS gets red accents on black seats. Again, the interior of the Active gets black or dark gray with yellow accents, so just a slightly different look on the inside, but we do get some accenting stitching right there. We get some accenting materials there, but they are typical hard GM plastics. This is a little bit rubberized, but it is more affordable GM products. We get express down all the way up, but not express up on your window controls. A little bit of storage down there. Completely manual driver's seat. Again, if you get the Active trim, you get a power driver's seat, but if you get the RS trim, you sacrifice the power seats for the looks of those 19-inch wheels. Got to offset that cost somehow. They are nice seats. They are trimmed in red. We've got this RS tag right here. We've got RS embossed in the headrest, and they match Tucker's child safety seat rather nicely with all the red accents. They're very comfortable and nicely suited. They are Evotex covered, so they're synthetic leather, so to speak, but they are very comfortable. Climbing in, putting my foot on the brake, pushing the engine start button, we can see the full digital display here. Lower trims do get old school tach and speedometer, but up-level trims get this 8-inch driver information screen right here that we have seen in more affordable Colorado models. And then we get an 11-inch wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto infotainment system, which I really like. You can see there's not a lot of functionality to it. You've got redundant climate controls here, and we've got all of our settings that we can control through here. It does have a Wi-Fi hotspot, which is a really cool option even at this price point, but I generally keep it on Apple CarPlay for the most part, and you can see it fills out that screen very nicely, and a very nice layout up here. I like how we still get physical controls for the lights, unlike some other models across Chevy's lineup, even including the Equinox that we just tested. I like the vents. They have a cool, unique look to them on both of the exterior vent ports right here, and then typical vents here in the middle. Single zone automatic climate control, nothing too spectacular there. We do have heated front seats, which is nice. USB-A and USB-C ports up here. Qi wireless charger that for the most part has worked for me very well. You can see we have our remote start kill switch right there, or our auto start stop kill switch right there. So if you don't like the engine turning off in traffic, you can do that there. Lane keeping, couple of cup holders, but no grippers in this. So if you got something small, well, it's going to be rattling in here. Then I guess we'll go ahead and grab my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Does it fit? Sort of. Maybe that's for phones. Maybe if you had a smaller phone. We get a little bit of storage here. It is hard plastic, so if you put something here, it is going to rattle. And then we've got a very large, deep center console with a very high armrest on this one. It's just been something I've noticed. It is a little on the high side. We get some storage here in the damped but not felt lined glove box, more storage in the doors, and then some gloss black across the front with RS right there. Lots more red accents here, and hard plastic but a unique design. Nothing special to the rear view mirror. We do have a sunroof on this particular one, just a standard size sunroof with your controls right here. No additional storage up front. Coming to me, plenty of headroom. Again, this is a manual seat, so you can adjust it up and down. That way you can open and close that very quickly, but not a lot going on up here for headroom. One more thing before I leave the front. We only have a backup camera, but we do have trajectory on this, so no 360 cameras. Yet another way a Chevrolet kept the cost down. Now we are going to step out of the front seat and move to the back seat where Tucker has been sitting this entire time that I've been reviewing today. Have you seen him through the windows? Well, as we climb in, I do want to talk about the back doors. Don't quite open as wide as I thought they would. They could go just a little bit further. Say hi, Tucker.
Hi.
He's been taking pictures too. There's his steering wheel. But will you move aside, T-Man, so I can show the good folks just how much leg room is back here in the back. I am thoroughly impressed with how much interior space Chevrolet was allowed or able to find to put back here. I'm 5'10". This is where I drive. Plenty of room. Just truly impressed with how much space is in here. Because this is only a front wheel drive model, we have a completely flat floor here. No hump for any internals trying to get back to those rear wheels to power those rear wheels. We get a little bit of storage back here, but you put something in here, it's going to rattle, make noise. USB-A, USB-C back here. Storage on the back of the passenger seat, but not the driver's seat. A little bit of storage in the doors. And then these seats, they don't recline, but as I climb out, I will show you, they do fold down to give you even more storage back in the back. So that is a very nice touch. But that is all for a tour of this one. Let's hop behind the wheel and see how it drives now that I finally have it on my home turf. The number one comment I've gotten on all of my Chevy Trax content is, oh, it's a Turbo 3. Oh, it has no power. Oh. Okay, this is not a race car. Despite all the red accents, despite the RS branding, yes, this is a commuter car. This is a efficient commuter car that has served me well every time I've gotten behind the wheel of it. You have to know the purpose of the vehicle. If you want something with more power, there are plenty of other options. But the reason you are buying this, it's affordable and affordable to live with for the long term. It is not gonna drink gasoline, and it's not totally underpowered. It is plenty good to get up and go in traffic. And I appreciate the old school actual 6-speed automatic in this versus something like a CVT. it works well. It's one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It has been a very good powertrain every time I've gotten behind the wheel of it. And bringing to mind my daily driver being a 2013 Chevy Cruze Eco, which has a Turbo 4, about the same size as this Turbo 3, it's actually more powerful than my daily driver and will quickly just jump out in front of traffic if you need it to. It has plenty of power for the daily commute. I've got no complaints there. Now, the other complaint, as we have an old Chevy Trax going through my window right here, is the fact that that old Chevy Trax had all-wheel drive. This one only has front-wheel drive. Now, living in Texas, as I do, we don't typically need all-wheel drive, like ever, like maybe a week out of the year, maybe. And even still, it's only as of like the last 10 years that all-wheel drive has really become an option in vehicles in this class. Usually it's been reserved for trucks and SUVs and big expensive sedans, and now it has trickled down to the economy class. So I don't know what people were doing in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s in northern climates without all-wheel drive, but we've done it before, people. Surely we can do it again, right? Like, I don't know. It's not something that I've had to live with, so it hasn't been a problem with me. And I appreciate the cost simplicity that only having front-wheel drive gives you on this vehicle. Now, that's not to say that Chevy couldn't steal some of their expensive tech from the Chevy Corvette E-Ray and do an electronic all-wheel drive like we've seen in a lot of Toyota products here recently, and just put some electric motors or an electric motor on those rear wheels to make this all-wheel drive. But again, that adds cost, and the whole benefit, the whole upside of this vehicle is it's fairly economical. From the base to the most expensive, you are spanning about a $5,000 to $6,000 price range, from, like I said, base model to this fully loaded at just over $27,000 with destination. That is everything except for your tax, title, and license. I'm very impressed with all that Chevy is able to give you for such a cost-effective price point in this. I've got full digital gauges in front of me. I've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I know it's government mandated, but I have a backup camera that is of decent quality. I've got an engine that has plenty of power. I've got a transmission that isn't terrible. I've got tons of space in here, and even here on this highly textured pavement, yes, it's a little noisy, but it's not overly loud. I have been in vehicles on pavement such as this where you're kind of having to yell at everybody, and those vehicles cost more than this one. So there is a lot to be said about cost savings being applied in all the right places, because this is a livable car. It really is. And as I mentioned in the intro, you are wrong for shopping any other two-row vehicle besides this one. You need a good first car? Boom, Chevy Trax. You need a college car? Boom, Chevy Trax. You need an affordable family vehicle? Boom, Chevy Trax. You need a vehicle that you can put a rear-facing car seat in and not torture the person in the front passenger seat? Boom, Chevy Trax. And for that answer, you're gonna wanna hit subscribe and ring the bell so you can see our family review when it drops, because I do install Tucker's child safety seat, and spoiler alert, there's tons of room even for a rear-facing car seat in this one. So I am yet to find anything I dislike about this vehicle. Yes, it could have more power. Yes, it could, in theory, have all-wheel drive, but that just takes away from the mission of this affordable SUV crossover. There is so much to like with this one. And I'm apparently not alone on this because these are everywhere. Ever since they started turning up, they have not been able to stay on dealer lots here in East Texas because they are just flying out the door. I see them on the roads and not on dealer lots. Chevy is selling the mess out of these, and I applaud them for it. They really do have a home run on their hands, and this was my vote for SUV crossover of the year last year when it debuted as a 24 model. As a 25 model, not a lot has changed. We do have a new color called Cypress Gray that I love so much, but otherwise, don't mess with perfection. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, again, hit that subscribe button down below, ring the bell so you are notified of future content from us. Find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me and Tucker, riding in my favorite little crossover that you can buy here in 2025, the Chevy Trax 2RS front wheel drive. Until next time, gearheads. Bye. Love you, buddy. Thank you. Thanks for coming with me.
You're welcome. Because I knew you didn't want to be alone and love you.
Yeah, it's nice having a buddy with me. So thank you.